Welcome to Natural 6! This is episode 11. We embark into a brave, strange new world, a world free of Kickstarter. Our first episode of us as a fully fledged D&D group. Our little wings have got their crucial feathers and off we pop. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. How are you?
I think we should continue with that. I feel like we've kind of emerged, just like freshly born. You like Neo in The Matrix when he comes and he's like fully smooth.
Or Ace Ventura when he gets out the back of the
right. I was going to say that, but I thought,
I remember thinking that was maybe the funniest thing anyone had ever done when I was about 8. And I still think it might be among the funniest things.
You look back and you're going, you were right.
Because he hits the fetal position super hard. Anyway, this is not for now. That's for the BTS. Hey, everybody.
Welcome to Natural 6.
Welcome to Natural 6. I mean, there's no show without heroes. Shall we say hi to them, please? Let's do that right now. Let's start here.
Hello, I'm Aoife Wilson, and I'm going to be playing Dolly de Winter, the Tiefling Bard.
You say that as though you might not. Today I might be playing it.
Maybe.
Hello, I'm Alex Jordan, and I'm playing the Kobold Rogue.
Woof.
Wow.
Hi, I'm Doug Cockle. I'm playing Kelis, the Dragonborn Druid.
Hi, I'm Hollie Bennett, and I play Indelion Riddle, the Human Fighter.
Hi, I'm Ben Starr, and I'm playing the Wood Elf Wizard. I hate him so much, Radian Thorn.
But they're not!
In opposite land.
But I tell you what is true, I'm Harry McEntire, and I'm a Dungeon Master, and shall we play some Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes.
Last time. You began dancing the night away in the Orange Tree Tavern. Kelis was cutting shapes as I tried to ascertain what strange poison was affecting his companions before the kobold slipped away to his bed. Radian was diving deeper into his cups, feeling invincible as he joined Kelis on the dance floor before a sudden, violent bout of vomiting signaled the end of his night. As Dolly helped Radian upstairs to the privy, the elf passed out, and Dolly took the opportunity to examine the deck of cards Radian carries in his pack. As she did, whispering voices surrounded her and filled her head before she asked, "What are you?" And for a moment, the whispers coalesced into a single word. She couldn't ascertain whether they said friend or foe. She replaced the cards in Radian's pack, and with Kelis's help, took the catatonic elf to bed. Wrote this very late. Downstairs, Indelion nursed a drink, hoping Grēnweard would appear. Eventually, she headed out into the street, bumping into him as he stumbled into some bins, and they shared a drink in the orange tree before Indelion too headed to bed. The next morning, Kelis, Indelion, and I, the character not me, headed to collect the supplies from the Council of Equals, while Radian nursed a truly catastrophic hangover with Dolly, who wanted to keep a low profile, having seen her description on wanted posters across the city. Indelion, I, and Kelis gained access to the council building, where Barnaby informed them of his displeasure that they could not be found in the barracks where Trusk had offered them lodgings. The council were now in session, so Indelion hung back, while the other two ventured in to retrieve the supplies. I and Kelis, to their credit, did their very best. They attempted to assuage any doubts the council may have about their suitability for this mission, but Ezra Silverkin II, a member of the council, continued to have his doubts. I was given a brief lesson in the concept of metaphors by a Dragonborn and showed everyone how fast he could run before the supplies were fetched and they were on their way. Meanwhile, Dolly and Radian had been making their way out of the city until guards approached and asked Dolly to come in for questioning. After flashing the ring that showed she had the favour of Trusk, Dolly was able to turn the tables on the guards and gain an apology from them, promising to return for questioning at a time of greater convenience. You were all reunited after I Indelion and Kelis made their way down to the depths, Kelis spotting Vim, clearly under arrest, being escorted to Baroon jail for questioning. Radian thought it was time to get out of town. You hit the road, heading south towards Mouse, before Kelis spotted a cart heading towards you. On board was a gnome, who Dolly recognised as Silas, but was going by the name Marv. He was heading to Baroon with his wife Alice, their cart loaded with the larger possessions of the townsfolk of Mouse larger possessions that the townsfolk of Mouse wouldn't have been able to carry on the road. Silas and Dolly spoke of their past, and he told Indelion of the fall of Mouse and the Golem that had gathered to lay siege to Castle Grēnweard. You continued, making camp in the woods as night fell. Indelion read a letter in the bag of holding containing supplies and weapons for your trip, in which Grēnweard offered words of encouragement to his eldest son, Eden. Radian and I asked Indelion more questions of her past, though she refused to offer any information. I told the story of his tribe, who disappeared suddenly as the kobold was tracking a gnome through the hills near his home. And the conversation turned to friendship, with Indelion reluctant to admit that any friendship existed between herself and the rest of the group. Kelis pivoted onto spoon carving, teaching the gang about spoons, growth, and mindfulness. And after a restful night, you journeyed yet further south, happening upon an abandoned cart piled high with family heirlooms, and Dolly spotted a family of halflings hiding in the undergrowth. They were fleeing Mouse, but one of the wheels of their cart had shattered, and they'd been unable to journey towards Baroon in safety. You spent half a day repairing the wheel, Radian gifting his necklace to the small halfling boy. Before they departed and you continued to walk towards Mouse. As night fell, you happened upon a tavern full of villagers making their way north, and among them was Paddy, a baker who Indelion recognised from her childhood. After you revealed your mission, Paddy offered you day-old pastries and sorted you out with a prime spot by the fire. Radian gave the baker the key to Jesco's in Baroon and told him that it was the perfect place to establish a business. When you woke the next morning, the villagers had a whip round for a few coins and brought you another bag of old pastries. You graciously declined the money, graciously accepted the pastries, and continued your journey. And half a day from Mouse, you encountered a party on the road, 4 cloaked figures flanking a family of orcs that dragged a handcart. And as you walked closer, Kelis spotted the mother orc mouth the word help. He passed this information on to Dolly, and a questioning of the cloaked figures began. One human took the lead, insisting that they were all from Mouse and journeying north together for safety. But after further probing and a little intimidation, the situation culminated in Radian casting magic missile on the leader and Kelis joining the attack. After a clutch use of silvery barbs from Dolly and an arrow to the cheek from Indelion, the combatants admitted to trying to extort the orcs and were stripped of their possessions and clothes, scurrying semi-naked into the forest. At last you approached Mouse, on the fringes of the Distaw woods. You made camp in the woods in preparation for the next stage of your journey. And that's where we are now. So night is falling fast in these woods. You're making camp, preparing a fire, preparing a meal. Here we are.
What can you tell us about what we're going to walk into tomorrow?
If we can get in through this tunnel, it will bring us up into the wine cellars, essentially into the basement. It's going to be the only way in. No one goes in through the front door, that's why it's held out. However, all I know is they've laid some traps in that passageway, and I don't know what all of them are. Mm-hmm. But knowing the people that laid them, they're there to make sure we don't get through.
And how does you know the people that laid them?
I'm from Mouse.
What kind of people are they?
They're the Grēnweard brothers.
Yeah. What kind of people are they?
Ferociously devoted to Mouse, ferociously devoted to their family. 5 brothers, varying wit, height, and skill. Some of them favour magic, some of them favour the sword, which means whatever they've laid down there will be a delightful variety of things for us to encounter.
You seem to know a lot about them.
Yeah, they've been looking after Mouse. The Grēnweard family have been looking after Mouse for 300 years.
What happens to mice if they fall?
It's a pivotal point if you want to come up through to Baroon. So if this Golem is trying to take places, I mean, look at it, they've already taken Load. an impenetrable dwarven fortress based on mountaintop plateaus. And that fell. They've got the north of Baroon. If they take Mouse, they'll have the south. None of that bodes well for the capital.
Who are you to them?
Just another member of Mouse. I don't need to be anything else right now other than the person that knows a way in and a way around.
I think you know more than you are telling.
I know a great many things I'm not telling, but they're mine to know and mine to share when I think it'll benefit us.
We're about to put our lives in danger.
We've done nothing but put our lives in danger without knowing what we're doing.
I know.
Why is now any different?
Because you has more information.
I have no information that will make this any safer for you than I've already shared.
Let's just take what information we can at face value. You're someone from Mouse. Fine. You've got things that'll help us get in. Great. Maybe when all this is done, maybe you be more truthful with us. I have a feeling I know a little bit more than you're telling, but like you said, it's yours to tell.
I've got a feeling you have access to more information than I'm telling, but that doesn't mean I still want to share it.
And that's fair. We all, which one of us has a secret or doesn't have secrets that they're not sharing right now, or that they're willing to share?
I doesn't do secrets.
Yeah, if there was one of us here that I had to put money on didn't do secrets, it would be you. Secrets keep us safe, and that's fine. But we do need to trust each other. We're going into something potentially more dangerous than we faced before.
Send in the rogue.
Fine by me.
I is always ready.
I know. And we do appreciate it.
I does not appreciate.
Don't say it. Don't. You're all being warned.
Maybe this is
No more secrets. No, we're sharing. You
Repeat after me.
You guys can go. You guys
Break
can
it
go through the
down.
front
Repeat
door.
after me. Appreciate.
Appreciate.
Perfect.
Say it back.
No,
Appreciate.
and then
Let's start to the basement Indelion. So I will say that where we are, you would probably only be an hour or so by foot from the gatehouse of Castle Grēnweard, which is where you've been told the Golem have gathered and have sort of pitched camp. So despite the fact that we're quite deep in these woods, and Indelion has led you to a place of safety deep in these woods, I think we will need a watch. Mm-hmm. I don't think it would be safe for the 5 of you to sleep all through the night. It would be worth having someone on watch. So that's for you guys to decide, but as and when you decide to rest.
You does not really sleep anyways.
I'll watch.
Goods. This was easy.
You'll need a 4-hour trance at some point.
We can swap.
Yeah, I'm happy to do some. I'm happy to do some watching too.
Thank you, Doug Cockle, and also Doug's always here. He'll do a couple of hours.
If you take the first, we can swap over.
Okay. Is there anything anyone else wants to do before they rest?
Things just sort of make sure fully ready to go for the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you packs off things in the middle by the fire, and Radian, you are taking the first watch. Can you roll me a perception check, please, as night falls?
It is. Oh, it's nice, an 18.
An 18. Although you are close to Mouse, the closest you've ever been, you're still far from the road. And all you hear is the wind in the trees and the rustling of the branches, the shaking of the branches as that wind picks up, and the soft footfall of small animals. At one point you look over and just cracking of a twig, and it's just a fox skirting round the edge of the firelight, and when you look up it disappears, flies, runs back off into the woods.
realise that there's kind of nothing really going on. So I idly just start looking in my bag, and I find a lot of spoons.
Roll me. Where were we at with spoons? Roll me 2d12.
It's been a while.
It has been a long time, yeah.
I've been carving away.
6.
You find 6 spoons that are in your bag. 6 spoons you don't remember placing there yourself.
Yeah,
Well, actually, 5 spoons you don't remember placing there yourself.
yeah,
You kept yours.
yeah. And I look at them in my, hands. I look in someone else's hands.
Keep painting that
Oh my
picture.
God, what a vivid image, everyone. I hope you're listening. And Radian cracks a smile, and then kind of puts them back into his bag, and then idly starts to, don't get any ideas, finger at the deck of many friends. I feel like his hand always goes there.
And as soon as you open your pack, there's those familiar whispers. And were it not for the fact that they feel like they're inside your head, it would almost be that you could tune them out. They almost become a white noise. But when your fingers actually brush the leather of that bag, those voices, those whispers, grow and swell.
I don't think it's too much. I don't think it's a big moment. It's just recognizing that they're there. There's a curiosity. I think just an idle curiosity, and it's no more than that. And just kind of places them back. Nothing to do.
And the next few hours pass without incident. We won't worry about doing 3 different watches. Who's going to take the next one?
I'll take the next one.
Great.
As she takes over, I just go,
I know what you do.
What do I do?
Thank you for the spoons.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure you don't.
So Dolly, same for you. Roll me a perception check, please.
I think that is, 11.
11. Nothing. Just wind, trees.
She's a little distracted this evening. Kind of if anyone was to be watching, they'd see a frown pass over her face. She's thinking very, very fast and hard about a lot of things. That's all.
And it's in that state that the next few hours pass. And
Kelis is just, I roll over in my sleep just before waking up, and I've been snoring a little bit. Just, that is not an appropriate use for butter. Is it my watch?
It's your watch.
Okay.
What's this about butter?
Well, sorry.
You know what? Doesn't matter.
Okay.
roll me a perception, Kelis, as as dawn is
godlike
breaking.
perception.
20. All right, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. For the first time in the kind of stillness of the early morning, the wind having faded, it's almost as if that wind, as it starts to fade, the noise of branches scratching on branches, and the last few leaves that are sort of clinging to the boughs of trees, it's as if it becomes a sibilant sound. And you look up at the branches, and the branches have stopped moving, and that sibilant sound stays, and you realize that it's the sibilant sounds of whispering, and it's coming from Radian's pack.
Is Radian asleep?
Yeah.
That's not an appropriate use for butter.
The hive mind has taken hold.
I want to investigate.
Roll me a stealth check as you head over towards where Radian is. moving as quietly as you can.
18.
18, absolutely. And as you approach Radian, that noise, it's nothing that would alarm or awaken people. It's purely in the silence and the contemplation that you were sitting in that you've even managed to tune into it, but it gets louder the closer you get. And it's really emanating from that pack.
Do I know what it is?
You know about the cards.
Yeah, because we played
So you
with them
can-
in the basement.
You can surmise that it's the cards.
I think Kelis would be curious. I think I'm curious about this. I think he's been curious since he saw Radian put them into. It was Dolly's pack he put them into,
Yes.
wasn't it? While she was sleeping. I think he's been curious about them for a long time. So, not in a kind of super sneaky way or malicious way. I think he wants to have a look for himself.
Roll me a sleight of hand check to not rouse Radian as you do this.
14.
14. Yeah, your passive perception is 13, I believe.
Yes.
You lift the bag.
Actually, no, my passive perception is 14.
Oh, you begin to lift the bag from the pack, and as you do, Radian rolls over in his sleep, and you wake up, Radian, with Kelis with his hands in the pack, which you sleep with next to you.
Whispering to you too, huh?
The trees are quiet. I can hear them.
Be my guest.
You pull them out of Radian's pack.
Be careful.
What have you done with them? Have you touched them?
I have no control over these things.
Do you know what they do?
No.
And as you have your hands on the bag, the sound of this whispering grows.
Radian, may I?
Radian nods.
I feel we must investigate further.
There is a lot of power in there.
We should use it or discard it.
I've tried. I try to discard it most nights, but it keeps coming back. When I awoke on the shore, it was there with me. It was the only thing there with me. I have tried to get rid of it again and again and again, and it comes back every single time.
I'm going to open the bag.
You pull the drawstring, you open the bag, and the whispering grows and grows, and it becomes from the sound of trees on leaves in the trees to the sound of bees, wasps, a mass of flies and flying insects.
Does speaking Druidic have any bearing on this at all?
What are you trying to do?
Just trying to understand what I'm hearing.
You can't make out sounds that are anything, Druidic or otherwise. It is too. It's like trying to find a single note in a wall of white noise.
The herbalist in me wants to smell them.
Roll me a perception check.
19.
They smell like dust.
What do you feel?
I feel nervous. I've never seen anything like this. What are they?
I don't know. I speak to it sometimes.
Does it speak back?
Sometimes. I can never make out any words. Sometimes I try and shut my eyes and get some clarity, but I just cannot make anything out. It's like 1,000 thoughts coming to me at once. And I feel everything. I feel happiness, sadness, pain, anger, joy. But it feels like it's a part of me. Go on, Kelma, shove your hand in. No, you want to.
I think I'm going to reach in and
Touch the cards.
touch the cards.
Roll me a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw. 14.
You hear these sounds, these noises, these voices grow and grow and grow. You take 3 points of psychic damage as you touch the cards. But other than that, nothing happens, other than those sounds that were outside your head feel like they're coming inside your head and pushing these noises out through like your eyes and your ears and your nose and your mouth. It's almost as if you're transmitting them. It's a strange feeling.
How you holding up? It's a weird feeling, right?
It hurts.
I would say by this point, the rest of you have probably woken. It's early morning. You look
You
over and
find
see
me like this.
Gelnis with his hand in the bag.
Anyone else want to have a go?
Well, you already did, Ellie. How about you, Indelion?
Don't trust that much magic.
I'm already touching them.
Yeah. You're touching
I
them.
think I'm going to pull them out.
Okay, you pull them out. And I'll describe what you see on them. But you can absolutely pull them out, but I'll describe what you see on them. So you see a pattern on the back, which is mountains, black water, and thorns, brambles. It's the same pattern that you saw in the chamber before you reached the chamber with the orbs at the top of Mount Atria. And then when you turn the cards over, you see figures. No names, nothing else on the card, but you see figures.
You recognize any of these people?
No.
And they look, some of them, what you'd recognize as human, some look like halflings or gnomes. Some look like kobolds,
Where are they?
like dragonborn, and some look like creatures you've never seen.
There are names.
Roll me a perception check.
19.
Those names fade. It's like you can see the ghosts of... It's like the ghosts of letters that are fading as you look. The longer you look, the paler, the more faded the details become. The duller the colours, the softer the lines. It's almost like these figures are melting into the cards as you look. And the more you look, the further they seem to fade.
What are these?
I don't know, but it's like the more we find out about them, the less sense they make.
Like everything else we've done so far?
It's strange. Every time something happens, something terrible, they get louder. It's like they can sense, like they're alive.
Do you get the sense that they want to help?
Maybe. They seem cursed somehow, though. I don't think we should use them lightly.
I think I'm already holding them. I'm looking at them.
Yep.
I think I want to just close my eyes and try to tune into them in some way. Just
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
19.
The whispers are swirling inside your head. But just as the images on the cards are fading, the whispers are softening and they start to sound like water, like waves, like spray and salt.
I ask with my mind, not out loud. I ask, what are you?
Wisdom saving throw again.
16.
Waves and spray.
I want to walk up, seeing Kel in this moment of focus and having already touched the cards and having heard the voices and the pain and kind of dropping it. And I just want to place a hand on Kel and also close my eyes and just focus and see if there's I'm getting anything.
Roll me a wisdom save with disadvantage.
Yeah, it's a 4.
You get nothing from touching Kel.
Okay.
You can all hear
I feel
these
strangely
whispers.
aroused, though.
You have inspiration, of course, on your next 6 rolls.
We can hear the whispers, but we can't hear the waves sort of thing.
Only Kel.
Don't think that I haven't tried this before. I try this every single time. I've tried this for months. You'll get nothing.
They've got to do something. Why are you here?
I ask with my mind again. I can hear the waves, I can hear the sound of water, but I saw figures and names. I want to ask, who are you?
Roll me one final wisdom saving throw.
It's a nat 1.
It's a nat 1. It's like those waves, those soft, sonorous sounds. It's like you hear their edges return. And the sounds that were soft in your brain become hardened and sharpened. And it's like those sounds grow thorns and you take another 4 points of psychic damage.
Give them to me now. We don't know what they are. They're dangerous. Give them to me.
And you place the cards back into the bag.
As they go in, I just goes, metaphors.
Well, that was fun.
I absolutely hate magic.
Nothing like a team building exercise to start a long and potentially exciting day.
So how'd everyone sleep?
Horribly.
I slept fine.
I just want to get inside Mouse.
All right. Well, yes, nothing for it to get going. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna pick up my pack, pick up the supply pack, and while everyone else, I assume, is doing stuff, try and sneak some more spoons.
Roll me a sleight of hand check.
I dreamed of butter.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Yeah.
Yes.
How many? Let's give me 2d12.
That's 14.
14. You get 14 more spoons into Radian's pack.
It feels heavier than before.
Okay.
Oh, Milton's under the table.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a dog under the table.
Dog under the table.
So, you break camp. Where are you heading?
First of all, I'm limbering.
You're limbering.
Yeah, absolutely. Eyes limbering and
Oh, you're
stretching and just giving it a little.
Bit of IG.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Indelion, you say you know where we're going, what we're doing. What's in store for us?
Okay, well, there's an entrance hidden here in the forest. We're going to go find that. That will be the tunnel we need to get through. So, follow me.
And you lead the party through the Distal Woods. And you lead them through brush and foliage and ancient trees. And you emerge into a small glade. One tree at its center, gnarled, twisted. It feels older than any city you've ever been in. Looks like it's been there since the beginning of the world. And at its base are large rocks. And this is the tide tree.
Big scale. I think you should go first. What does your big scale eyes see?
Can I investigate the tree?
Yeah. Do you want to, roll me an investigation check then.
I mean, I just used the word investigate.
Absolutely
It
you
can be
did,
whatever.
and I'm holding you to it.
11.
An 11. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a tree with a load of rocks around it. A really old tree. You put your you put your hand to the trunk and give it a tap, and you can hear that it has like a hollowness to it. The trunk.
Any ideas, Indelion?
Move the stones.
Rufus stones.
Move the stones.
Moved it.
Move them.
Who's Rufus?
No, it's Milton.
Rufus, Pamela.
Hank.
Okay, so Radian starts moving the stone.
Okay. So you move these with a bit of help from the rest of you, because these are big stones. And Delian directs you which to move, and you move biggest of these stones, these rocks, sort of 2-3 foot across. You can sort of see that these stones have concealed not just the ground, but like the last 2 or 3 feet of trunk of the tree, which has this seam in it, this split. And you look in and you can see this huge hollow tree trunk, probably 5 feet across. And in the base of this trunk, there is a set of spiral stone stairs leading down.
What was this used for?
It was just a way in and out of the castle, but I guess in case of emergencies, if you actually need to get out and you are under siege, this is the way you do it.
You think it's been used recently?
I don't think so.
Doesn't bode well.
It means no one's had a reason to come out through anything but the front door for a while.
It's the kind of information only someone, on the inside would know, really, isn't it?
A lot of people work inside Grēnweard Castle. That's a big estate.
Sure, but not all of those people would know about secret passages.
If you need to get in and out of anywhere quickly, everyone will need to know about that.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of makes the secret passage less secret if everyone knows, but...
You're welcome to take the front door if you prefer.
Oh, I already is taking off my pack.
That's what I thought.
Goggles on.
Gog up.
Gog up, baby. It's going to be a long night.
I think there's going to be like a lot of backhands in this episode.
Do you look like this through the whole thing?
Junior Birdman.
Hi, Indelion.
So can I hit for bludgeoning damage?
You can do 1 point of bludgeoning damage to Radian.
I'll do 1 point.
I
bludgeoning.
cast shield.
So you head down the... Who's the last one down once you've moved this
I
rock?
think I shouldn't be in front or last because I don't have dark vision. And I'm not sure if we should we?
Light a torch.
Should we light a torch?
I'd say it's fine, but I don't know what else is down here anymore. We'll put it out if we need to.
Dolly lights a torch, hands it to Kelis.
Always the first to light a fire.
I like fire.
So you head down. Who is going last? Just tell me who's the last one up on the surface.
I'll go last.
Mm-hmm. Anything you do on your way down?
Have a little sniff.
Okay, you can roll me a
No,
perception.
I'm gonna have a little. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little look around, just checking who was following us or looking around.
You stand with...
Radian, I think we should conceal this entrance behind
I
us.
think this is a smart move.
Okay. Anyone want to help?
How easy is it going to be to get the rocks to cover from this side?
You can do it. You can absolutely do it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you conceal the entrance, and you kind of entomb yourselves underground, and then there's the striking of flint and the sudden of a torch catching light. And those of you who have dark vision can, see anyway. But Kelis, you can see the illuminated trunk and the stone steps that head down. And
How far does the torch illuminate for me?
That's a good question. I will look up how a torch works. Is it 30 feet?
But I was going to say 20 to 40.
20. It's 20 feet in bright light and dim light, another 20. So you have essentially 40 foot of vision.
40 feet. Wow.
40 feet. And the rest of you have...
That's a good torch.
60 feet. And as you start to head down, roll me this perception check for your little smell that you wanted to do.
It's a fantastic 8.
It's a fantastic 8. It smells like... it smells kind of damp.
Mm-hmm.
Like an old artilleryman.
Musky, bearably musky.
Yeah, very musky.
And you head down this spiral staircase, and when you reach the bottom, you're in these natural caves with pale stone. They seem to have been hollowed out by the passage of water under here for a long, long time. Even down here, there's sort of flowing underground streams and little pools, sort of small lagoons. And there's this path that takes you in between these lagoons, over these streams. It's a large cave space that you enter initially.
How large? Like
well, you can only
diameter?
you can only see 40 feet, but the cave ceiling above you, if you like, is 20 feet up. So you have 20 feet of clearance above your heads, or I don't know, maybe 14 feet of clearance above your heads. And as you move your torch from right to left, the further you get into this cave, you can't quite see to the very edge of it, but you can hear rushing water.
Anything you want to say, Indelion? Traps and tricks? When can we expect them?
I have absolutely no idea when we'll find them or what they are. That is the end of my secrets down here.
When was the last time you were here?
Long, long time ago.
Give me a rough estimate.
10
Okay.
Months? Years?
years.
Minutes?
So we really could be walking into anything right now.
I know we're walking into at least 5 things. I just don't know what all of them are.
And at the far end of this cave, you're heading towards it, you can hear water, like the sound of water rising and rising and rising in its volume. And you see a waterfall, water kind of pouring out, and the torchlight kind of refracting these kind of water droplets. And the path leads behind this waterfall.
This is the end of your torch.
Oh, it would arc over.
Oh, okay.
There's definitely something hidden back there if it was an RPG. Like, behind that wall was definitely a chest.
I turn around to Dolly and just goes,
No, if you seize, it arcs over.
Oh.
Very good natural investigation.
It's one of the reasons that makes this place so impenetrable. You have your own water source. You can hold up in here for, I guess, in theory, forever.
Are we walking in a line, or are we kind of just... Are we able to spread out at all, or do we have to be kind of in a...
The pathways are kind of narrow. Sometimes you're having to push yourself really close to the wall. But there are points at which you can spread out more. So, I mean, it's worth giving me a marching order, I guess, of who's absolutely up the front and who's absolutely... So I is up front with Indelion.
That makes sense.
And then, Kel, you said you wanted to go in the middle, right? You didn't want to go...
Or
at the very
just
back.
not at front
Yeah.
or back?
Who's at the back?
I'll be at the back.
Radian's at the back. So.
I'll be between Kel and Radian.
Right. So at some certain points you have to fall into single file, other points you can almost walk as a group. It takes you maybe 5 minutes to pass through this first large cave.
Dolly, I know earlier when you just said about the torch thing, it's quite embarrassing being the leader, and I want you to know that I don't judge you for it. I still respect you as a leader.
Dolly, he doesn't respect you.
Oh, I know, it's fine. But it could, easily... Look, caves aren't my thing.
As a person who's embarrassed themselves many, many times in front of all of you, you're doing great.
The most recent being just last night, yeah. Or the night before that. It's hard to tell.
Stop listing them. Yes, it's expansive.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And you head around the edge of this waterfall, and there's a fissure in the rock, like a seam in the rock. And Indelion, you look through it, and you know absolutely the space you're going into.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's more of the path. It's where we're going.
This is not much information.
I haven't got much more information. It's a path. It's been a long time since I've been down here.
Right.
You said we're not friends, and I get it. You're not holding anything from us that's gonna get us in trouble, are you? I just need to check.
If I thought I was holding something that would help all of us and help Mouse, you would know it.
That's not answering my question.
I don't think I'm withholding anything that you need to know.
Who's got the pack?
I do.
Can I take it? Give me the pack.
Why?
But the bag of holding?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want for it? What do you want for it?
Give me the bag.
Why?
To hold it against me.
Yes.
I've got it. Don't worry. I'm keeping an eye on it.
We are carrying in this pack something that will help your people.
The people of Mouse.
Yes, the people of Mouse, your people. And we are doing it. We don't need to do this. I don't need to be here. They don't need to be here.
If you remember, I didn't want to do this.
You all chose to do this.
All we're asking is for a little bit of information. This isn't some bizarre transaction. I'm not leveraging it. I'm just asking you, please, to be honest with us.
You were more than willing to leverage it a second ago when you tried to get the bag off Dolly.
Because you don't want to do anything. You are an immovable object.
An unstoppable force.
We have tried to reason with you.
I've given you everything you need to know. What you want is information you don't need to have and I don't want to give you. I see no reason to give it to you right now, especially not stood in these caves.
Listen. Who you are? Frankly, I don't care. I just need to know that you're not going to sell us out in some way, shape, or form.
No reason to sell you out. Mouse needs all the help it can get, and I will do what is best for Mouse. You being here, with your skills, that bag, is what's best for Mouse.
And please, after you.
My pleasure.
And you squeeze through the fissure in the rock. And as you all head through, everybody roll me perception checks on this new space that you enter.
Natural 20.
Natural 20 from Radian.
Only a 16.
16 from Indelion.
Nat 1.
Nat 1 from Kelis.
5.
5 from I.
5 too.
And a 5 from Dolly.
I'm
So,
thinking about tacos, apparently.
you're thinking about
Tacos.
tacos. Thinking about tacos.
Not a delicacy of Mouse either, to be fair.
As you head through this fissure, they're like it's that. There's this gravitational potential energy in the group. There's this feeling of like tension and things being unsaid and things not being shared and what does that mean? And you're all after the sort of closeness that you seem to have gained through some of your time in Barun. There's like this just slight standoffishness, and you're not really taking the room in so much as you are sort of taking in each other, eyeing each other up, trying to figure out who's reacting to what. But Radian, your eyes are fixed very much on where you're heading, and Dolly and yours too. And it's a long cave with these jagged rock formations protruding from each side, almost like the claws of a great creature. And Radian, you see that in the wall on the left-hand side are sort of natural splits in the rock. And with a nat 20, you see in these little fissures, these little splits, that there are old, damp, rotting pillows and blankets in these little fissures, these little splits. And with a nat 20, again, you also see that they have names carved into them, above them, like bunks.
What was this place?
Just a way in and out of the castle. It really was just that.
This doesn't look like a way in and out of the castle over here. People slept here.
And as he points it out to you, you can see these names carved above these splits, and they say Eden, Kelin, Torian, Kailan, Derwen, and Ellie, the smallest one at the end that says Ellie.
Who are these people?
The Grēnweard children. Played down here, I'd assume. It's a good way in and out of the castle. Children like forests.
Who were they?
Who are they? You've met one of them. They are the children of Grēnweard.
And they play down here.
Children tend to play, Radian. Some people do like having fun.
This place feels too special for just anyone's to know.
This place feels like an adventure.
Why would someone not important knows of a secret passage to stops people taking mouse?
Kind of a place where a kid would get a real love of adventure, you know? A real taste for it. A lifelong love of adventuring, one might say.
Forest gives that to people.
Radian, with your nat 20, roll me an investigation check.
22.
22. You're sort of running your hands along these little bunks, moving stuff aside. And in the one with Eden above it, which is the largest of them, you find a board, not the pieces, but a board for dragon chess. And running your hands along the others, and then in the last one, the smallest one that says Ellie, you find a miniature, like a child's sword and shield made of wood that's starting to rot. Like they've been rolled up in the blanket.
Radian pulls out the sword and he walks up to Indelion.
I think this will be better.
What are you not telling us, Indelion?
I'm not telling you nothing you don't need to know. It's a child's sword. You don't seem as transfixed on dragon chess. I thought you'd be more interested in the swords anyway.
What are you not telling us, Indelion?
I'm not telling you plenty because you don't need to know. We have been through this.
Let's keep going.
You follow the cave round to the end.
Just before we leave, as we're leaving, I want to say, someone tells me, what does these say? And I point it, because I can't read.
Of course. Points up to the names.
Points up to Eden and goes, it's as fuck.
and then I
it's 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
I walks up to Radian and just tries to jump and slap it.
And
But,
you...
Sorry, as we're walking out, these kids turned, what I assume, adults now. They prepared to die for mice?
All of them. Without question.
Okay.
And the end of this kind of curve, the stream, the rivers that you were next to has faded to just like a tiny trickle by this point, the very last bit of it, and it leads underneath almost into the rock, like the spring is somewhere within this cave. And at the far end, beyond where that spring begins, there is a stone door set into, kind of been cut to the shape of the opening, the natural opening in the rock. And there's a keyhole at the center of it. But everyone roll perceptions, please. Go ahead, Radian.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
From only a 3.
A 3 from Indelion.
27.
27. 18.
3 as well.
3. Indelion and Dolly, you're looking at each other. There's an unspoken thing. And you'd absolutely notice this is a really weird shaped keyhole. Like, it doesn't have that typical formation, kind of round bit at the top, and that it's much bigger. And then Kelis, it looks like it would fit a small sword or perhaps a dagger. And Radian, it's incredibly obvious to you that it would fit in Delion's dagger.
And I'm going to take my dagger and I'm going to, I guess, much like you would a key, place the dagger into that hole.
Yep. And as you do so, it's like you hear this sort of clunk, clunk as bolts drop and the door swings open towards you on its hinges.
What are the chances?
Youngest brother, strong, not smart. But this is the end of where I know what's coming up.
Tricks and traps.
And now you get to find them.
And in the center of this new space is a red, soft red glow. In the middle of it, on the floor, standing 6 foot high, is a mound of stone, like a huge honeycomb or a termite mound. It has these great holes within it, the girth of an arm or a leg. And from within it, there is a red glow filling this room with suffused red light. Everyone roll me. Well, actually, you tell me what you want to do rather than call for checks.
I'm going to go up and just have a peer into these.
Roll me investigation.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. As you start to walk towards this glowing red light, you take a few steps towards it and it's hot. You're still 10 feet from it. It's hot. It's really hot. You can feel sweat. And you're a cold-blooded creature. You probably have never sweated before.
Yeah.
It's this strange sensation. Suddenly, there's this. It's like there's water on your face. Are you crying? You don't feel like you're crying, but you might be crying because something strange is happening to you, and you feel this heat.
I stagger back immediately and go, he's been poisoned. Yeah, and I'm just sweating, and I'm just sort of on all fours and just kind of in a panic state and just kind of
Wiping away at himself.
Yeah.
What did you feel like?
I does not know how to explain it. I feels like my skin wants to not be on.
You're weird. Did it feel hot or cold?
Feels like a fire.
I would like to walk up and investigate it.
Roll me investigation check.
That is 19.
Okay. You, as you get closer, to each step as you get closer to it, the heat increases and increases and increases.
I have resistance to fire.
Great.
Just have as
Absolutely.
tiefling.
Great. And you see letters that have been carved into this stone around these holes, around these openings. It's not until you get close, the swell of heat and light, it's not until you can get really close up that you can actually see it. And it says, how much can you bear? How much can you sacrifice?
I'll relay that to the rest of the group. Any ideas?
I guess if the first one was Derwin, the youngest brother, I'm going to guess this would be the fourth brother.
Mm-hmm.
Based off what I know about them, can I at least try and...
Roll me history.
Ugh, not good.
You can roll with advantage, I think.
See if that helps.
It does.
It does. It's now an 18.
Okay. So, this would be the next brother, Kylen. Kylen was known for being. His name means little warrior of the forest, and he's known for being quite hot-headed. Could be the most fierce, and would put himself in physical danger first.
Seems like it's taunting us, right? How much can you bear? So what, we have to place ourselves in physical danger to get through? That seems...
Anyone want to chance their hand?
How close did Dolly get to the mound?
She's kind of stood right next to it.
What do you
And she's not taking damage.
Doesn't seem to be.
Listen, I'm no hole expert, but I'm guessing...
No one's shocked to learn that.
But I imagine that what we have to do is insert something into one of those holes and see how much we can bear.
Mm-hmm. Any takers? Any volunteers?
Yeah, I think I'd do it. I think it feels like it's my fault.
Just tell me what you do.
Before you do that, we might need your sword arm.
I'll pick a better arm then. They're both sword arms.
What, like a wildfire druid arm?
I don't have a wildfire arm. I am, however, resistant to fire. So I'd like to investigate the mound as well.
Mm-hmm. You can roll me an investigation check. 17. You see these same words that you'd heard Dolly say to everybody.
What are they again?
How much can you bear? How much can you sacrifice?
Can I look into one of the holes?
Yeah.
Like directly into one of them?
It's like looking into the sun.
You're going to put your arm in a what?
You put a mage hand in there and see what happens.
Somehow I think that's not how this works, but we can give it a try.
Okay, fine. Radian walks up to the mound.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes... He just shoves his arm in.
Your arm?
My actual arm.
It's not a sword arm.
Okay.
And he's burnt to a crisp.
The heat swells. And it grows and grows as you reach deeper and deeper into the stone. And then you touch something. And there is this sudden, searing pain beyond anything you have ever experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a pain that becomes color and sound, and you feel your hand is gone. How much damage do you take?
I take... So I have 30 hit points.
Okay.
I take 29 points of damage.
Okay. You take 29 points of damage. And you see on the far wall of the cave a circle, an empty outline of a circle, illuminated in red. It starts at the bottom, it completes itself, leaving an empty circle. And then as you take that damage, starting at 12 o'clock and moving clockwise, that circle starts to open up like a slice, which glows red. And a fifth of that circle is filled. What do you do with your arm?
He leaves it in there.
Mm-hmm.
He leaves it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, imagine agonizing pain.
Yeah, and that.
Because I feel like agonizing pain.
Yeah, and the finger, you felt the fingers go.
Yeah.
And then you feel the palm go.
Yeah.
And then the wrist up to your forearm,
Yeah.
up towards your elbow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's burning off.
Mm-hmm.
You have the physical sensation of losing length down your arm.
Mm-hmm. And I have no control. Like, I feel like it's that feeling of like, I can't really make any decisions right now, so it's going to be up to anyone else who wants to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't think I would be in the mental state, having just taken 29 points of damage, to even be aware probably of the thing happening.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
It's a 5. Oh, no, it's a 7.
Radian passes out.
With his arm still in.
As he drops,
I'm
he drops to the floor, his arm slides out, his arm is whole, and there's an almost imperceptible tick slightly further up on the sector that
want to run over and cast Healing Word.
you cast Healing Word, nothing happens.
Okay.
Okay. Having
Am I allowed to mechanically? No, I can't because it's not a. I mean, do I have to do a death save?
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll go around.
so he's passed out.
He's passed out. What I will tell you can do, you can stabilize him. You cannot heal.
Okay.
It doesn't, it's like when you were on the mountain.
Yeah.
It's like there's the nut, you'd Healing Word him, nothing comes back.
When you say that about that thing, when you say it ticks, so it ticks to close a little bit.
No,
Or
it ticks to open. Ever, like, barely perceptibly more. Like it took one more.
Mm-hmm.
Mechanically, he gave 29 of 30. It's almost like it ticked over.
I want to just see that. And I am gonna really, really hard just slap myself
Okay,
to try to do 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
okay. I'm going to say you can do that to yourself.
Okay.
You take,
And I'm just staring at that thing and I just slap myself as hard as I can.
you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage. The space doesn't move.
I don't think that's what they have planned.
Was worth a try.
I'll do anything for Mouse.
After you.
I go next.
You put your hand in, you feel this searing, high-pitched, bright white pain. How much damage do you take?
I'll do the same. 30.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
18.
You take 30 damage. And you see the that space opens up until it is. There's no other way of me doing this in a comfortable way. 45%, almost halfway, not quite.
Okay, I want to run up to it and I want to just try and put my arm through. Is it like something I can see through, or is it like a?
Yeah, fucking great question.
I want to. So yeah, what kind
The opening.
of? Yeah, what kind of sense? Is it just like it's open up and I can kind of see through and there's stuff there, or is it like a veil?
As you get close to it, it's that same thing of trying to get really close to the central mound. Like it's heat. It's like it's really, really hot. And you look into it. Roll me an investigation check with disadvantage.
Oh, damn it. That's 4.
Okay. All you can kind of see is like sunlight and red heat.
Okay. I take a step back and I say, it feels the same as this.
This doesn't feel great.
I'm going to say at this point, Indelion has done something. I has done something. Kelis and Dolly, if you don't choose to do something for Radian in terms of stabilizing him, he'll roll a death saving throw.
I'll stabilize.
Okay.
But he has
Trying
one
to
hit
heal you,
point.
wouldn't
No,
you?
No, I don't.
No,
I feel like I
he
kept
gave
it
up.
in
He gave up 29, and then he rolled very low on something.
Yeah, I was trying to cast Healing Word anyway, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
So you essentially take some time to stabilize Radian. His breathing returns to kind of normal.
Okay. I think I realize what has to happen, so I stick my arm in another hole.
You put your arm in, and as you do that, you look over at Indelion before you do it, and Indelion has like her face clenched, and like all the color has gone from her. It's like all the blood is draining away from her. You can see these like beads of sweat outlined on her forehead, and you put your arm in, and it's beyond the cards. It's beyond any wound. It's beyond any magic or malady. How much damage do you take?
30.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
9.
Roll me a D10.
Uh-oh.
1.
You take an additional 1 point.
So 31.
As you try to control that damage that you're taking, control that pain, it's like your body, your mind and your body, it's like they're disconnected. It's like they're not listening to each other. The experience you're having is so total, is such an overload that you can't keep it. You can't contain it. And you lose that concentration, and then you master yourself as you feel yourself start to slip.
What can I feel in there?
It's like
You said that I suppose I wouldn't have felt this, but what aside from the pain,
you feel yourself touching something hard, smooth, and very hot, and then it's like your hand burns away. It's like a kind of, say, a metal ball that someone would
and
drop into
I look up at
liquid.
the thing in the what?
It's like, like a metal ball that someone would drop into some liquid.
Does it make a sound?
It makes a little farty noise.
I look up to see what's happening with this thing.
It is approaching sort of 7/10 full. It rises up again.
You all right?
Be my guest.
I takes a deep breath. Walks up. How high up is this thing that I've got to put my arm in?
You know what? There are arms that are perfectly at the right height for you.
God.
That's what I was hoping you'd say.
I rolls up the sleeve, takes a big breath, looks at Dolly, and just says, "Tribe," and just sticks his hand in.
Arm in. And it's like, it's a ringing in your ears. It's almost, it could be voices or music or screaming. How much damage do you take?
I also take the 30.
Okay. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
That's 7.
Roll me a D10.
Where's my D10? 6.
You take an additional 6 points of
I
damage.
am down.
You watch as I puts his hand in. You see him bare his teeth, these sharp, pointy teeth, and you watch him start to shake, and his jaw starts to rattle, and it's almost like until he cannot bear it, and then his whole body goes limp, and just like Radian, he slides out on the floor, spread-eagled. His head hits the
And
stone.
what happens to the sphere?
It's almost full. It's 95% full.
I was stabilizing Radian, so I'm going to place his head on the ground and move to I and try and stabilize him.
And you're able to do that.
Then I'm going to look from face to face, being like, what the... Indelion, I'm just going to lock eyes with you and be like, this had better be worth it.
This doesn't kill us, I'm going to kill him.
shoulders the bag, looks at her hand, sticks it in.
It's like nothing you've ever experienced. How much damage do you take?
She's resisting a little bit.
Okay, you want to choose to take half.
Yeah.
Okay.
10.
10. Your hand burns and you force your eyes up as this circle completes itself, and there is a sound of like red hot metal quenched in water, like a hiss, like a and the chamber fills with steam and smoke, and when the smoke and the steam clears, that circle has disappeared from the rock and you can see to a cave beyond. And you reach down, and this whatever it was that you were touching in there is cold. All of you feel it cold, Indelion and Kelis. And you withdraw your arms and your limbs are as they've always
I
been.
grab Radian and I drag him towards the
The opening.
To the next cave.
Okay.
It's almost like ferocious how I'd grab the bag of holding and just, because I know what's in there. There's potions. Like, there's med kits in there. Like, I guess I'm just hand in and just, we need healing.
We need to.
Good.
We have spells.
We must.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
We must enter the next cavern. We don't know how long this entrance will be open.
Yeah, I think we should let's go through and then see what's happening next.
Somebody get
Okay.
the kobold, not me.
I'll take I.
So you drag I and Radian over the rocks.
Yeah, I drag him with from his feet.
I just goes,
That is a stranger's for butter.
Radian, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
A 6.
Okay. You're dragged through into the next cave, and it's a narrow, long cave. Either side, slick, sheer walls of stone. This one seems to have been shaped more intentionally than the others. And on the floor, 20 feet ahead of you are these series of stones with letters on them. In fact, I will put one there for you guys to see. And I'll put one there for you guys to see. And I could even maybe put one here.
Ooh.
It'll be on the screen, right?
Oh, it'll be on the screen. We'll probably put it
Yeah.
down in the bottom.
I mean, it makes no difference that I'm passed out right now.
Yeah,
I
right
would
now.
not have any idea what those mean.
Do we need to stabilize eye?
I'm gonna.
I
I've
is
already
stabilized. They're both at 0 HP.
I'm
At the
gonna
moment, they're
cast
still
healing word.
going to cast
Does
healing
it
word.
work? Or
Healing
is
word.
still-
It does. It works
does
out
work.
here.
Okay. I'll cast it at. Let's see.
But before you do that, Dolly, perhaps we should use potions.
Those potions are they're supplies for a reason.
But we have potions.
So to be clear, what you saw in the bag of holding are healers kits, which allow you to stabilize creatures at 0 HP. They don't heal, so you'd have to use your own personal supplies of potions.
Don't have many.
I'm thinking
Cure wounds.
we could save our spells and
Okay,
use
well,
potions of greater healing.
How many do we have at this point? I don't have one.
I have one, and we have. I think I have 2 because I had one, and then I can't remember where we got
The
these.
apothecary.
We ended
I mean,
up
that
in-
we found extra potions. I haven't kept track of who's got what.
we only
so
found one potion of greater healing. I was the last person
and
still
one
holding.
of healing. So I should have. We should have 2 potions of greater healing, 1 of healing, at least. I don't know who else might still have a potion of greater healing from the very beginning.
No, I gave mine to a very ungrateful elf after he took a knife to the ribs.
I'm so unwell. Why'd someone heal me with either magical potion? I don't get.
Well, I'm just going to cast Healing Word at level 2 on I.
On eye.
So that's 6 plus 4, 10.
You come back, eye.
Did you use my potion of greater healing?
No, do you have one?
Yes, I think I has one.
Maybe share the wealth.
Well,
That's it.
could we, in fact, allow me to go and get our potions? Which I hadn't brought in, but I should have. So who has potions of greater healing?
Not me.
Not me.
I believe I do. Now, there is some discrepancy around like whether or not I gave it to Granoff, but I think I gave him a regular potion.
I'm happy for you to have a potion of greater healing.
I
Okay.
think I have 2. And a potion of regular healing.
The comment section can take it up with me. So one of these is, we won't use these for regulars because they all say greater on them.
Pretty little things.
These are
Wanted to mark the crafted campaign.
These are beautiful, pretty little things that Mark from Crafted Campaigns made for us. Little potions of greater healing which contain the corresponding amount of D4s.
They're so cool.
Because props are fun. So, tell me.
I head over to Radian, and I open the potion of greater healing, and I open his mouth.
Do you actually want to pour it into my mouth?
I mean, where do you want me to pour it?
No, but just pour it into my mouth. Like, actually.
This is a
Oh, and then that's how we roll the dice.
I don't think that. I don't want to capture death on camera. I don't think.
Okay, so I take the potion, and I'm going to use this actually as a symbolic thing of this is Radian's
This is Radiant's
mouth.
open maw.
And I take it, and
And it's as simple as that.
I pour it in, and he
It's
gets
the one on the bottom at the
8,
centre.
10, 13.
13 plus a potion of greater healing is
44 plus 4.
44 plus 4. So 13 plus 4 is 17.
Well, that was dumb.
Did you use healing word? What happened? Did it work?
Yeah, it worked.
See?
Warn us next time.
The mouse.
Okay, and then I have 2 potions of greater healing. I give one to Indelion and I give one to Dolly.
Don't you need it more than me?
I have another potion of regular healing that I thought I would use for myself.
Give me the regular one. You have more health than I do.
She took 10.
Yeah, that's true. I'm down to 5. So
Please be my guest.
okay, so I give Dolly my potion of regular healing.
Okay, which is 2d4 plus 4. 2d4 plus 2, I
Yeah,
apologize.
6 and 10.
10, perfect. Back up to
Sweet.
full health.
Nice.
Okay, so I take my potion of greater healing.
It's the ones on the bottom in the middle.
10,
Plus 4,
14.
14,
So 7 is what I rolled. So plus 4, so
11.
11. Not for me.
We all look great, by the way.
That's one down, right? We're doing so well.
You really undersold this with them.
I hurt everywhere.
You were excited by them. They're definitely exciting.
So where are we?
I guess we'd be in the chamber set up by the 3rd brother.
I don't think Zai is going to be much help here.
This is both a trap and a trick for you, I.
Yay.
Well, any ideas? I start investigating the room.
Great. Roll me an investigation check.
Seven.
Tell me specifically where and what you're looking at. So you've got you've got walls on either side, you've got these stones in the floor in the middle, and then at the far end you have it opens up a little wider, and there are sort of stalagmites and stalactites. I'm going to do both at the same time so no one can tell me I'm wrong on which one's which.
Tights hang down, mites curl up.
Absolutely they do, and you'd be right to say that. Tights and mites. At the far end, they almost look like kind of teeth.
I'm not going near these. I'm just looking at the walls near to where we are, see if there's anything.
There's nothing on the walls to your left and right. They look slick and sheer.
Okay.
These are on the floor, you say?
Yes.
Radian walks straight over to them. Looks over the edge and goes, "What is it?"
I mean, they look like steps with letters on them, Radian.
What do you think would happen if I stepped on one?
To be clear, we're standing down here.
Yes, absolutely.
I guess
So you're
if
working your way up.
Yeah. I guess if you step on the right one, Radian, there'll be nothing to worry about.
Can I ask, how do you spell the names? I wonder if I'm crossing into a metagaming moment, but
How do you spell the names? Ask me and I'll tell you.
The names of the Grēnweard
You'd have no idea.
children.
You'd have no idea.
I'd have no idea.
I don't know why you would have ever seen them written down.
Well, wasn't it written on the beds?
Yeah.
Of course. Sorry.
I've
Right.
got them written here.
Yep.
Do you?
Yeah.
Can I ask how far is this for? And is it what's on the other side of it? Is it just
Hills.
flat surface?
It looks to be flat surface on the other side of it, and these are 5 foot. There are 5 foot steps.
Okay,
each,
so
it's 25 feet. to get to the
25
other side.
feet. And
Okay.
my jump is what?
I checked this before. I'm going to look into this so I can be absolutely sure. I've got to type in long jump 5e rather than just long jump. So,
Trying to find.
jumping. When you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump.
Okay, so I would have a 10-foot run up.
Yep, and then you could jump your strength score.
My strength, which is 13.
13, so you could make it
Okay.
across, you could make it into the third row.
Okay, so I'd like to cast jump on myself, which triples my jump.
Okay.
And then I would like to just do a run up and jump all the way to the other side. I'm gonna have to burn that spot.
What's on the other side? Can we see?
So wide flat plateau with stalagmites and stalactites.
I mean, I is going to do it.
You're literally going to jump all the way to the other side.
He's going to jump all the way to the other side.
Fine. Like a flea.
And I just turns to Radian and I says, "Watch this." I run forward and I jump, tripling my jump, clearing these stones and land on the other side.
You land on the other side.
I looks down and just goes, "Oh. Can't you all do this?"
Well, before he even
Nope.
before he even notices it, he says, "Watch this," and he turns around and Radian's there because he's already cast Misty Step. And he's standing directly behind him and goes, "I saw it."
So I land and he goes, "Oh," and then turns around and goes, "Oh."
So I and Radian are across the other side. So you are now in the area with the stalagmites, stalactites, this plateau.
Yeah. I'd like to investigate. I would like to not investigate, actually. Any ideas?
Do you have any nicknames growing up in Delian?
And then on that, I just step on the E.
Okay. You step on the E. And the E gives way ever so slightly. It crumbles, and there are spikes beneath your feet. Roll me a D8.
Two.
That is you take 2 points of piercing damage and roll me a dexterity saving throw.
17.
17. Okay, you don't stumble. You just stand there with these spikes that go up through the boot into the feet. It's like stepping on broken glass.
And I'm going to jump, I guess, I want to come back out that.
You can, on these ones, because you're on the front row, you can just step backwards. You step off it.
That's a good idea.
Crossed off the E.
And then I just look at Dolly and go, no nicknames are going to work here.
Interesting.
Tries jumping.
How far is it again?
It is 20. Each of these steps are 5 feet, so they're 25 feet. So it would be.
Yeah, hell of a
So it would be
jump.
about kind of 20. You'd have to be able to. I mean, I'm not that bothered about trying to figure out actually the span of each step, but they're sort of 5 feet. So you'd have to be able to jump. I'll say 30 feet to be able to actually fully get across it.
I've got an idea. I want to investigate to see if there's anything like on the stalagmites and stalactites on the side that we're on.
Yes,
On the side that they're on, is there anything
empty.
that we can attach anything to?
These are sheer slick rock walls. So no.
I know. I'm going to tie a rope to Indelion.
Kind of.
Any other ideas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you could try.
I'm trying to work out.
Okay. You want to see if you can jump?
No,
Oh,
I don't want to try to jump. I mean, I did
you did
think
consider the jump.
I did think that someone could tie a rope to someone else, and from the other side they could pull, and the person could jump, and they could provide more momentum. But
Fun again.
more likely is either we throw stuff and hopefully
Or we could solve the problem.
solve the riddle, or solve the riddle. Yeah. So I was trying to work out how the children's names might fit into some kind of pattern in there.
One thing they love more. Mouse.
But that's not how mouse is spelled, is it?
Mouse.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was MAUS. I don't know. Why.
No, it's not a German mouse. It's a mouse.
Now it is.
Yeah,
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah.
I'm going to step on the M.
You step on the M. And as you step on the M from the cave, the slick cave ceiling above you, there's a jet of fire. Roll me a d10.
Okay.
I knew it. Reading doesn't make a difference.
Is the 0?
Mouse starts
That's
with a
10,
T.
but you take half fire damage, so you take 10 fire damage rounded down to 5.
God damn it.
It's very.
But Jehovah starts with.
Save for the short rest.
Sorry.
Action surge. I just said save for the short rest, which is actually Nadpod's
Yeah.
show. That's how excited I am.
Nope.
Nope.
Were there any other ways of spelling mouse?
From the German way?
Beginning with a T?
There's something with an umlaut.
Carrots.
No, I don't think that's...
How you getting on?
Not good.
Are you still stood on the...
I think I would have jumped back off it.
Okay.
With these stalagmites,
Yes.
can I try and say to Radian, helps me, and try and snap off some of the top?
You can... I'm going to say no.
Okay.
These are thick, ancient rock formations. I don't think even two of you could snap through. I mean, these are at the point at which they sort of originate in the ceiling or the floor of the cave. They're probably 1.5 foot, maybe 2 foot across, tapering to a relative point that's still like a foot thick. I don't think. You could try and smash it out with a weapon.
I don't think daggers would probably do the job.
I'd like to try something.
Okay.
I promise I'm not going to keep doing this. I'd like to cast Magic Missile. I'd like to aim the 3 darts at A, T, and A. Do you think that would work?
The other three steps in that first
In
row.
that first
So
row.
you tried the M, you tried the E, you want to do the A, the T, and the A.
And I want to do like with like high impact
Force damage.
force damage to those things to create a level of force on each of those 3 at the beginning. Those 3, because I can produce 3 darts at level 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So you hit.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter. Does it matter for the force
I don't
damage?
think it.
suppose
I
not,
don't
'cause
think
that's
it.
not the point
I
of
don't
it.
think it really does. I don't think we need to worry about damage. So The A on the right-hand side crumbles, and beneath it is a almost watery, jelly-like ooze. As you fire it into the T, from one side of the wall, the far side of the wall, a whip of thorns reaches out and jerks back into the stone. And the far A on the left-hand side, nothing happens.
So we know where to start.
How many more of those missiles do you have?
Not enough.
None of the children's names start with A.
No.
I'm gonna go and stand on the A.
You go and stand on the A, the left-hand A. Nothing happens.
Okay.
Okay.
So Kelis and Indelion are not currently stood on the puzzle, and you're on the same area where you entered the space. Dolly is stood on the A, on the left-hand side of the first row. I and Radian are on the far side among the stalagmites and stalactites.
Are there any rocks, loose rocks around?
Not on your side, no. I mean, no. You've got a flat surface, and then you've got these stalagmites and stalactites on the far side.
We have like a pygmy wolf that can help us, Kelis.
Well, I was thinking about that. I was actually thinking
What were the
about.
names of the kids again?
Pardon?
What were the names of the kids again?
So the names of the kids are Eden, spelled Eiddon, Kelin, Celyn, Torian, or Torian, Torin. Do forgive me. Kailen, Caelan, Derwin, Derwen, and Ellie, Ellie.
Okay. Never mind.
I'd like to use one of my. I'd like to use one of my. Let me find this real quick. I'd like to summon Hank.
You summon Hank.
I can't convey it.
I'm level 5, so Hank can hang around for 2.5 hours.
And he's got,
Hank.
he's got another meeting after that.
I've only got a tight two. So sorry.
If we could wrap this up, that would be great.
Sorry.
So I summon Hank. Hank can hover. And Hank also can spit seeds of fire. And I'd like to have Hank spit seeds of fire at all of those letters.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Bugger.
You can, magic missile does force damage. It's a physical force pressing down on something, breathing, blow torching stone.
Okay. Then I'd like Hank is bouncy. He's a pine marten.
What do you mean Hank is bouncy?
Well, he could boing.
Hank is a wildfire spirit which has a set movement speed. Him being a pine marten is flavor. I'm not going to allow you to do something mechanically that a wildfire spirit can't do.
He can't land on things?
He can land on things, but by bouncy, I wasn't quite sure, Doug,
Well,
what you
I
meant.
think what I meant, what I'd like to try to instruct Hank to do is to literally just go boing on the H and immediately jump off it back onto the A. Can you do that while Dolly's standing on the A?
No, he would have to do what anyone would have to do, which is place your weight on something, see what happens, and then step off it again. He can't. You can't. I'm not going to say. I don't think he can pogo around as some sort of minesweeper.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking he would bounce from one to the other.
In order for
You have to place him in danger.
you have to play. Yeah,
You have to place him in
essentially.
danger. Okay. Okay. I'd like to tell Hank to go And very nice, I say, Hank, could you please go stand on the O?
He stands on the O. He stands on the O, looks up at you, and the stone collapses and he drops. He is going to roll.
you're on the air. You're like,
on behalf of Hank, I am going to roll a DC 12 dexterity saving throw. He has a +2. I'll roll in front of the table. He rolls a 3, which becomes a 5, so he fails, and he disappears from sight.
He has a dexterity saving throw of 16.
He doesn't have it.
Yeah, it's right here. Oh, sorry, no.
No, he definitely doesn't. That would make him the most powerful anything.
He also has a +10 to
He has a +10 to screen cover. No, he has his score for he has 14 to dex with a +2, and he rolled a 3 and got a 5. He drops into this what looks to be ooze or slime, and he is going to take.
He dies painfully.
he's not real.
He takes 11 points of acid damage as he starts to sink down into this
I
thing.
can't find his stats.
5
Harry.
plus 5 times your druid level, so he has 15 HP. 5 times your druid level is 10 plus 5, and he has just taken 11 points of acid damage as he sinks down into this thing.
5 times my druid level is 25.
Oh yeah, of course it is. I'm sorry. So he has 30 HP.
How far
Nevertheless,
down is
he takes 11. Pardon?
How far down is he?
You can. He is sinking into this thing. He is. You could reach down and grab him.
I'm gonna leverage my tail, actually.
Okay. You're
I'm
gonna.
just gonna flick my tail around and.
It's not real.
Okay.
It's not real.
He's
He's an actual pine marten.
Can you roll me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Save me. It's not real.
Hold on, can I see the names?
He just goes,
Yeah.
I, the Alex, not the...
18.
18. You pass and you're able to scrabble around. I'm going to make an acrobatics check for Hank to try and grab hold of your tail. He has a +2.
Wait, so is he not able to hover out of this stuff?
He is currently engulfed.
Engulfed.
I rolled a 4 with a +2 is a 6, so you do not get him out on this turn.
I'm gonna be like, sorry, buddy. And I'm gonna jump over to the H.
Okay, you jump over to the H. As you do, another firebolt sees down from the ceiling. Roll me a d10.
Okay. 3.
3 points of fire damage, rounded down to 1.
Fine. I'm gonna jump back to the A. What? Then why the hell?
What the hell is going on? This is complete.
If the Golem don't get them, I will.
So I'm going to say we're not in initiative properly, but for the sake of Hank, we are kind of loosely in initiative. We've had Hank's turn. We've had Kelis summon him as a bonus action. Summon him as an action, right?
Yeah,
Or
it's the
bonus?
new rules where you can do that as a bonus action.
Okay.
Can you? No?
It should. Well, I'll come back to you on that. Have a little read of it.
No,
and
it's
check it.
an action.
It's an action. So you've used your turn. Hank's used his turn. Dolly's used her turn. I, Indelion, and Radian can try to do something, and then we will kind of go back round to Hank.
I don't like brute forcing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a world in which I'm just, to be honest about mechanically, I could do one last round of magic missile, then we'd have 2 letters that we'd know. Because there's three letters. We'd have 2 letters that we know, and then we can try and piece together what this word might be, or what these initials might be. I don't want to burn another spell slot, but I feel like it's cheating a
Is
little
2
bit.
letters going to be any easier than 1 at this point? We either know it or we don't, I think.
That's yeah. And I think Radian would be too selfish to not want to do that anyway, so he just wouldn't. But any ideas? We know we've got A, F, L, T.
It can be any of these.
I looks around at all of you and just goes,
Yous can read.
We'll do your letters with you at the very least next time we make camp.
Any of this ringing a bell?
Absolutely not.
Indelion and Kelis, roll me investigation checks.
Not 20. Maybe it does ring a bell.
Oh, shoot. That's cocked. Sorry.
Unless it's a nat 20.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay, dirty 20. As Radian, you'll allow me, sort of is shouting across the chasm, shouting across the kind of tiles, what do we do?
Yeah.
Do we use magic? What do we do? Your eyes, both of you, rise up towards that far end where I and Radian are. And these stalagmites and stalactites that look almost like teeth. Kel, you see that they have some markings on them. And Indelion, you sort of move around on that space, and they become almost like a set of teeth. And you can read that these markings within that 20 start to take the form of letters that spread themselves across the teeth, moving left to right. And those letters are... Let me make sure I get this absolutely right.
Radiant.
For the sake of Frank.
A-S-A-T-O.
A-S-A-T-O.
Radiant. Why is they looking at us like this?
Indelion has her head on one side.
yeah.
What
So
are you doing?
there are sort of two kind of selection, two bits of stalagmite and stalactite. One on the left, ASA. One on the right, TO.
The O has already fallen into the...
What are you doing? Why are you looking so weird?
The stalagmites above you. There's letters carved into them.
No, the letters are on the floor. What do you mean?
Look.
Look up.
Can we...
From where you are, it's
It's just-
impossible to...
They are... what are you talking about?
From where I am, you can see letters carved into the stalagmites above you.
And Dolly and Kelis, you can... it's harder for you, Dolly, because you've just had your head set on fire again. But you can kind of shift and you can see these same things. A-S-A-T-O.
So I does not understand reading because I not looks at it in the right way?
Yeah, maybe.
The shapes need to match I. There's shapes carved into the floor, and there's shapes on the stalagmites above you.
Then what do you see?
A-S-A-T-O.
That doesn't make any sense.
None of this makes any sense.
Could the order be wrong?
Maybe.
Indelion, roll me a history check.
That is a 18.
Strong as the oak.
Oh, it's gone.
Oak.
You remember Darwin's words?
Yeah.
As strong as the oak.
As strong as the oak, as free as the forest.
It's the
As free as the forest. A-F-A-T-F. You're welcome. Right, let's do it.
And we'll take a little break then.
And he will make sure we never live it down.
Technically, I said
No, but it's going to tickle in my throat. This tickle is brought to you by dust. It's basically diet dirt. I bet you wish you were that water going down my throat, you f***ing lusty. This is an official statement from Natural 6. Hello, pathetic ground dwellers. It's benevolent demigod and chocolate souffle enthusiast Benjamin Starr here. I've taken a break from my work expanding minds, revolutionizing the entertainment industry, and fixing my bathroom door to bother you for a bit. Lucky you. Hey, here's a free noise. Did that please you? With your low standards, I imagine it did. Here's another. What entertainment. You can't say I don't feed you. Some historical figure definitely didn't say verbatim at one point at some point in the past. Let them eat cake. And you are
eating cake. Like Bruce Bogtrotter having just dropped acid, finding himself locked in the bake-off tent with 2 hours to live. Stuff your faces, you uncontrollably high mortal school children. What does that image mean, though, Ben? What's it leading to? It means nothing. Go on. Listen to it back. It's literally just filling time. Because this ad spot was meant to be sold to some advertiser somewhere in order to sell ads. That was the idea. Hey, Natural 6, lots of people will want to seek out your platform, but no one did. No one. Not even a low-budget but tastefully lit pornography, which makes no sense. Because look at me. Come on, capitalism. Use my body as your vessel to shift product. It's a very usable body. So instead, I'm going to tell you to give me and some other people in Natural 6 whose names I can't remember off the top of my head, money. And that money gets to us via Patreon. It's good content, Indelion's diary, monthly AMAs, behind-the-scenes footage, an exclusive audio drama. Plus, you don't have to put up with me shilling things unless you want to, because I will shill you all day long. But for money. Lots and lots of money. Because, as it says here, I have no shame, only the desire to receive your hard-earned cash on a regular basis. And while some of you may feel you have the capacity to resist me, please bear in mind that I'm very, very charming and disarmingly persuasive, even when you sleep. And that's something your intermittently conscious minds are just going to have to deal with. So depending on your choice, either thank you or f*** you for listening. Patreon.com/natural6, not natural sex, unless you want it to be. It'll take you to a completely different page. I haven't tried. And afterwards, go back to Natural 6 and thank me for sending you to a site which is probably just natural sex. Unnatural sex is also good. I've heard there's different types of sex. I only know one, and that's kind of standing up, kind of like awkwardly against a wall. I did it once or twice, and it was, as I say in here, explosive, but in a good way, kind way, in a nice way. Also, you like dogs? Have this one. You can have it. I don't even know what this is. This is meant to be my dog, but you can have it. Go on. Take him. Be free. He's yours. Don't look at me. You're theirs now. Go free. I don't love you anymore. Don't look at me like that. Milton, we can't be together. Milton, don't be like that. I have to give you up. We need money. The advertisers didn't give it. Milton, have my dog, please. We need the money.
We're back!
Whoa! What an ad read.
What an ad read.
God,
we have no idea what it's going to be.
No,
It'll be
we-
something
no.
majestic.
I'm
but
pretty sure it's going to be pretty damn good. So when we last left you, you've just seen as strong as the oak, as free as the forest, and we're going to come back to Lil Hank struggling in an ooze.
Yes, and I say to Hank, teleport, Hank, teleport. So I ask him to teleport to the other side.
To the other side in the far, oh yeah, he can get there, it's 15 feet. So he teleports 15 feet and a shaking, shivering, clearly poisoned Hank makes it to the other side. I'm not going to mess around too much making people navigate the steps. You jump across A, F, O, T, F, and as the last person, who's the last person to step on those letters, the last person to step off?
I'd say it's me.
Indelion. As you do that, you hear like a rumbling, a deep rumbling in the earth. And as you step off, you turn back and all of the letters fade and the stones meld and become one, become a flat surface. And in the far end, the wall behind the rest of your companions opens up like a set of teeth. And it reveals beyond a wide, almost perfectly circular space, the high domed ceiling.
I was going to step on in.
You step on in.
Power word kill.
As you step in, the floor drops like a pressure pad. And you hear this noise as chains are released above you. And you look up and you see these large circles of metal, solid metal, sliding down towards you. Where are the rest of you? Not asking you to move or do anything. Where are you? Are you in the doorway?
I just watch.
I'm only on the other side of the letters.
You're only on the other side of the letters.
Yeah, same.
I think I've stepped to the doorway to look.
Okay, so you're in the doorway. You see in the far side, a door slides across, and what looks to be like a a rudimentary catapult flings this great armful of... Roll me an investigation check.
Ooh, that is, I think it's just a 6, but hold on one second.
Dolly cries, "What is that?"
Yeah, it's a 6.
Okay, it could be like small pebbles, could be sand, could be grains, and they, into your eye, these things drop. You see what they are is bird cages, and as they drop, all the doors of these cages open, and like 6 dead birds just fall out onto the floor around you.
Okay, so I'm really just sort of like getting the sand, the dust, whatever it is, the stuff out of my eyes.
Roll me an investigation check on it.
That is a nat 20.
It's birdseed. You're covered in birdseed.
Oh.
Okay, so I gets the birdseed out of my eyes and it's like, looks down and sees the dead birds.
Like bleached bones of birds.
Okay, and goes, turns around and goes, "Is birdseed?"
Indelion, roll me a history check.
12.
If this is Kellin, Kellin is not the most... Kellin doesn't pay much attention to things.
You think this room's broken?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's per birds.
Yeah.
So what, we just walk on through?
Yeah.
The rest of you step onto the floor, nothing happens.
I just dusting down
the birdseed.
Has I got any?
You're good. Yeah, just if we see any pigeons, maybe keep a low profile.
Thank you.
I walk over to I and I say, you know, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
I looks around going,
There is no bush. Good. Metaphor. Okay.
and just carries on walking, just trying to process it.
Imagine having 2 birds instead of just...
But there is, how many birds?
6.
There is,
Was.
I can't count properly.
There was 6 birds.
There was 6 birds.
Not much eating on those ones.
No bush.
You walk out of that chamber. And you walk into another chamber beyond. Looks to be made of stone blocks, like bricks, large breeze block size blocks.
What do you mean made by?
Made of.
So it's a room with
is it?
Rather than a natural cave, it's like a constructed space, a constructed room.
Okay.
I'd like to just look around the room.
Yeah, just investigate.
Roll me an investigation check.
12.
12. The
Least interesting number I could have rolled.
Well, if you're both invested.
oh yeah, you
I'd
can,
like
you
to
can
have a
roll.
look
You
as
can roll
well.
with advantage, so you can roll twice, take the highest.
I'd like to look as well.
Another 12.
No, it was 4. It was a I
Okay,
have a
so
7.
you look around. So essentially, you've given advantage to Radian.
Oh,
there.
I see.
There's the wall behind you as you walk through this space, and then the 2 walls to either side, and everything seems to be made of the same pale, sort of mid-grey stone. The wall at the far end has more patterns on it, almost like geometric patterns. It's not as smooth. It's not as square.
Indelion, what's that?
Roll me investigation.
It is. It's a 17.
17. The wall shifts. Like it's waking. And then the wall stands up. And there is a great stone statue that looks down at the 5 of you. Its arms come down to its side. Everybody roll initiative.
Oh my god.
Hello.
Okay. Anyone get higher than a 20?
I got a dirty 20.
A dirty 20.
I got a natural 20.
Oh, you'll go first. Anyone get higher than a 15?
19.
Higher than a 10?
13.
Higher than a 5?
I mean, I rolled a nat 1, so I feel like I have to admit
Okay.
that to you. No, because, you know,
Got clear conscience.
I'm a clear conscious kind of guy, you know. I don't like to lie, don't like to be unfair.
No.
Indelion, that is your turn. This great, hulking stone golem in front of you.
For once, I'm just outright shocked. Didn't think there'd be a golem down here. I'm also not going to be stupid enough to try and rush a golem with a sword. I actually think on this one, I'm probably not going to do an awful lot. I'm going to try and talk to it.
Okay.
Maybe ask, what it's guarding. Can I come through? Something like that. I'm basically, I do not want to try and engage a golem.
Tell me what you say.
Maybe I'll just ask, who's put you here? What are you guarding?
And the head turns towards you. And it stares silently at you. Makes no response. And then it sort of stamps its foot. And you feel the ground underneath you shake from the power of this creature.
I am actually just going to be slightly more defensive. And I'm actually just going to knock an arrow and hold it.
Okay, so what trigger are you holding it for? So if you want to hold your action to make an attack at some point, you need to tell me the specific trigger that would cause you to fire that arrow. And if that's satisfied before we get to your next turn, you'll fire that.
Yeah, I think if I feel like it is going to make an aggressive attack, if it is going to try and hurt someone.
Okay. Aye.
So, just 'cause I have a visual. If we're, say, like, we've come in here
Yep.
and it's along a rectangle, so like a rectangular room.
Yep. It's, the shape of the piece of paper is absolutely fine.
Yep, Golem is down here.
Yep.
Width-wise, how much of this sort of, like, how wide is it compared to, is it like you could get round it?
There's
Is
10 feet either side of it.
10
It's
feet
currently
side.
stood with its back to the back wall. So as it stands up, it reveals a true back wall of the space, which is of the same construction as the walls around you.
Okay.
So it's kind of, it's a large creature. It's not a huge or gargantuan creature. It's a large creature. It has a reach that would allow it to sort of, I think, take up maybe 20 feet worth of room by reaching on either side. So it's a 40-foot wide room, let's say.
Okay. So,
And how far are we from it?
You are at the far end of the room, so I'll say you are, I guess you've got to be 60 feet from it then for the geometry to make sense.
okay.
Assuming you're just assuming you're just in the doorway of the space.
Yeah.
You haven't spread out and checked out the entire room and touched all the walls.
Then in that case, I don't think it's wise to just straight up attack this thing. So I would like to use my action to investigate as much of the room as I can, see if I can notice anything about any of these like breeze block type, if there's any one that looks out of place or one that looks more worn or one that looks anything like that.
Okay, roll me an investigation check.
That's a 9.
Okay, the room looks to be mathematically designed.
Okay.
Before everything was natural space, using the natural cave space, augmenting it slightly. This is like they have built a room.
Yeah. I can't sense anything. Okay, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to use my bonus action to click my heels, meaning that my speed is now doubled.
Great.
Until I click them again.
Yep.
And I'm just going to turn to Indelion and say, really does not know anything about this?
Do not know anything about this.
Okay.
That is Dolly's turn.
Indelion, what are we supposed to do with this?
I have no idea how you take down a golem.
Okay, well, you better start thinking. Think, please. Think fast. I'm going to cast Bardic Inspiration.
On
Indelion.
Indelion. Okay, so you have
Perhaps
Bardic
we do not
Inspiration.
need to take it down.
Huh?
Perhaps this is not a fight.
I is thinking of getting round.
Dolly, do you have more to do on your turn?
So that was a bonus action.
Yeah.
Can I hold my action?
Absolutely. What would you like to hold your action for?
Shatter.
Okay, you'd like to hold Shatter, and what would be the trigger?
If any of us are attacked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kel, that's your turn.
We're 60 feet away.
Yeah.
I would like to... Sorry, I'm doing mental math, not my strong point.
We'll get the scissors in.
Yeah. I'd like to just cautiously, not with, no threat implied, but just move towards the golem about 20 feet.
20 feet, so you're now
40 feet away.
40 feet from it.
Yeah.
Technically you might be 35 feet from it because it stood just forward of the wall. Yep. 40, we'll call it 40 feet. Yeah, you're 40 feet from the golem.
Oh, and I bring Hank with me.
Very well.
That's it.
That's it. That's your turn. That is this golem's turn. And it's just going to use its action to move as close as it can to you. It moves right up to you, Kel, and it's a good head and a half taller than you. It stares down at you. It's sort of technically used a dash action, so it can't do anything else this round. But it's staring down, looking at you, this great impassive stone face. That is Radian's turn.
Last chance in Indelion, any ideas?
On this one, unless I can roll for something,
Fuck it. Radian casts Fireball at the... Is it golems? They can't take fire damage because they're stone, aren't they?
You don't. That's
no,
never been.
no.
That's not a known thing that's ever happened. So that's not. You don't know.
I don't know.
There is no precedent for fire damage not having an issue with.
Okay, great.
I will say, because it's the first time you're using this spell, Fireball has a damage radius.
Yes, it does. Yeah. So the point that I'm going to make is, I'm not going to fire it directly at the golem. I'm going to fire it so that it is, because it's right up in Kel's business, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
And do you reckon it's so wide that I wouldn't be able to direct it?
Because we're not using a grid, what I'll say is you can roll me an Arcana check to see how accurately you've cast this for the first time that you're ever casting it.
Yeah.
You won't do this every single time, but it's a new spell.
Yeah.
Let's see how accurately you can control that radius.
Great.
We'll call it a DC 13 Arcana check.
I get a 19.
You get a 19, absolutely. So you can place that in such a position, even casting it this very first time, that wouldn't damage Cal.
Great. So I'd like to cast Fireball at this golem.
Yeah.
And it needs to make a dexterity saving throw. A bright streak flashes from your pointed finger to a point you choose within range and then blossoms with a low roar into an explosion of flame. Each creature in the 20-foot radius sphere centered at that point must make a dexterity saving throw. The target then takes 8d6 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
8d6 is like...
This creature has magic resistance, which means it has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. It has a -1 to dexterity. I rolled an 11 and a 15, becomes a 14 and a 10. What is your spell save DC?
15.
15. It fails. So it's going to take all that damage.
Would you like some D6?
I'd love some d6.
Whoa, big D6. How many?
Sorry.
Like a D6.
He might be interested.
Little dog.
Do not keep
There are
d6s.
some nice D6s. How many do you need? 8.
I need 8.
Right,
1,
I've got
2,
more.
3,
Yep.
4, 5,
6, 7,
6, 7,
8.
8.
It's too many for the title.
Can they sit flat?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's that?
That might be the
That's
six.
the 6, yeah.
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 If it's an insignia, it's the highest number possible. So read this. You can, if you want a hand.
It's not that high, to be honest. 16, 19, 24.
24 damage. You watch as fire licks up the legs and torso and the back and the shoulders of this golem, and it turns towards the fire, starts to sort of almost clumsily try to extinguish the flames on itself with its great stone hands. And then it looks back at you, Radian, still with this impassive, unblinking, unmoving face. That is Indelion's turn.
I think she'd probably curse even under her breath. And I guess I'll just loose the arrow and just... I mean, we've already shot a fireball at it, so...
Okay. Fire an arrow.
That one.
That one. It just shears off the stone.
Yeah.
You have a second attack because you're level 5.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just going, what the fuck?
That is 17.
A 17. That just hits.
Oh, damn. Okay, so it's only a longbow, so it's a D8 plus 2.
It's immune to piercing damage.
Then,
You see this kind of lodge in a section of the stone and it just pulls it out, drops it to the floor.
I only do piercing damage.
Ditto.
That is Ai's turn.
I would like to try and sprint around the golem to try and get behind
You
it.
can absolutely do that
Okay,
using your
cool.
movement.
Yeah, but I don't want to use all of it. I've got 30 times 2 plus my dash if I need it, so I have a potential up to 90 feet of
Yep.
movement. 30 feet would get me around behind?
Yep, happy
Okay,
with
so
that.
I want to try and get round behind. If I get round here, how far does that give me to the end of the room?
If you get round 30, it's 60 feet long, so you're essentially sort of 30 feet from the far end.
Okay. I would like to use my rest of my movement, as in doubled, to get to the end. And I'd like to use, for my action, I would like to try and inspect the end of the room to see if there's any kind of mechanism, anything that I could call back that might be to do with, like, deactivating this.
Okay, roll me an investigation check.
That's a 14.
14. It's a smooth, flat wall. You can't see a mechanism.
Okay. I turns around and says, "There is nothing up here. It's just a wall." And then I mean, I do piercing damage. I only do piercing damage. It's a tricky one to try and figure out. I've got Firebolt, but it's not exactly Fireball. I am going to just pull out my rope in preparation. I can't do anything with it except use my action, but I'd like to just get. Can I use a bonus action to maybe like try and like tie the end of the rope into like a?
I'm going to say, yeah, you can use the time in between your next round to tie a. What are you trying
So
to
I'm
tie?
going to try and just basically take the rope and tie it into like a kind of like a lasso.
Okay.
You know,
yeah. You make a loop in one end of
Yeah,
the rope and
yeah.
semi-secure it so it
Yeah.
can like a slip knot.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Absolutely. Dolly,
Can I? How far away am I from this thing?
you are 10 feet from
Okay.
it. Well, actually, you'd be 20 feet from it. It's in the middle of the room, 30 feet.
And it's staring down.
Staring down Kelis still, although it's now it turned its head to Radian after Radian cast Fireball.
Okay, while its head's turned, I'm gonna walk up to it. I'm gonna place a hand on it. And I say, "You're nothing, and you'll do nothing." I'm gonna cast Bestow Curse on it.
Okay.
It's gonna make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
And if it fails, then the one I'm choosing is at the start of its turn, it's going to make a wisdom saving throw, and if it fails, it'll waste its action doing nothing.
Okay. It rolled a 2.
It fails, so it's doing nothing.
Okay, so it's going to spend its turn
And it has to do that every turn.
doing nothing. It has to keep reminding me that
Well,
I need
it's
to do
cursed, yeah.
whiz saves. Whiz save. Okay. Kelis, that's your turn. You've just seen Dolly come up, place her hand on this creature who's sort of, stiff and unmoving.
So it's not doing anything. Do I recognize that it's...
Roll me an Arcana or an Insight, whichever you like.
Insight, then. Isn't that one?
That one, no, you don't recognize that. Because it's moving in such an inorganic and unnatural way, and it seems even when it took damage, it sort of batted the flames down on itself, that when it puts its arms down by its side, it just seems to be as prepared as it has been at any point to you.
Okay. I'm going to ask... Wait a minute. Let me just double check real quick. I'm going to teleport with Hank. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take Dolly with me.
Okay.
15 feet towards the back wall.
Okay, so that will put you sort of 10 feet behind this thing.
Yeah. And when we teleport out, it does a fiery blast that does 1d6 plus 3 damage.
Great, and there's no saving throw on that or anything, it just does it.
There's a dex saving throw.
Right, okay. So it will make that saving throw with advantage.
With advantage?
Yes, because it has magic resistance, it has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects, and it rolled a 19 and a 20, so I'm going to say it passes.
Okay, well...
Does it take half?
Oh, yes, it does. Yeah, you're right. It's 1d6 plus 3, so I just have to roll that.
Yep.
D6. 9.
But it says that, I'm just checking it myself, it says, must succeed on a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC or take 1d6. So that implies that if it does succeed, it doesn't take it, the damage. So I'm afraid it doesn't take it.
It would have taken loads.
It would have taken 9.
Yes, you're right.
Right, that is this creature's turn. Does it do the wisdom saving throw again now, or does it do it at the end of its next turn?
Good question. It is, the creature must succeed in wisdom saving or become cursed for the duration of the spell. When you cast the spell, at the start of each of its turns.
Okay, so it repeats the saving throw now, even though it hasn't yet taken effect.
I don't know.
I think let's give you a round to say that it works definitely for the first round, and then we'll start repeating at the start of the next round. That is Radian Thornbear's turn. Dolly and Kel are now behind this creature. You and Indelion are the only ones in front of it.
I want to keep doing a bit of damage.
Kel damage.
Kel damage.
Just a little bit of damage. But I don't want to just juice up my spell slots, so I'm going to pull out an old classic, Toll the Dead. Bring it out. It's already done a little bit of damage.
Okay.
It must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take
2d12.
2d12.
And it will roll with advantage because it has advantage. It rolled a 19 and a 10, my friend.
And I do it unsuccessfully.
Unsuccessfully this time around.
No, but it...
Because it's a cantrip, it probably won't take half on a fail. That tends to be a level spell ability.
It is very much not any effect.
Yeah.
And so Radian stands there and he looks around to see if anyone notices the spell has gone right.
This dolorous bell.
Guys, ignore the bell. It was...
The bell's for me, not for you.
What am I doing over here?
How did I get here?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn? Someone dropped a metal ball into some ooze.
Yeah, I'd just like to drop a little metal ball into a bit of ooze. No, am I allowed to just have a look at this boy?
Take a closer look at him.
So you can roll an investigation check with disadvantage.
Yeah, nice.
If you want to.
Yeah, I do.
But because technically an investigation check would be your whole action.
He's
but,
embarrassed.
But you've done really badly so far.
Yeah,
so
and it's not going great for him. He's kind of very, do you know what it is? It's when you trip up like that and you want to make sure that no one's like that, and he's turning into a jog.
Yeah, you do a couple of steps.
Yeah,
Easy
yeah,
a couple of
yeah,
steps
yeah,
under
yeah.
a jog,
So
and then point at someone down the road who doesn't
Yeah.
exist. Like, oh, there you are.
But it wouldn't be a Radian Thornbearer without looking badass and looking like a complete
So
arse.
investigation with disadvantage.
It would be 15.
A 15. Okay, with a 15, you have a little look at this thing in front of you, and you see it has an insignia, like a coat of arms carved into the main block that makes up its chest. And it is a shield fringed by leaves with a mouse holding a spear at the center of it. That is what you get, baby.
Am I allowed to shout to Indelion?
Go on, you sod, you saucy
Hey,
sod.
Indelion, fuck you.
Great, end of turn.
I see Toll the Dead work.
You didn't see nothing. There's something on his chest.
Indelion, that is your turn. You are in front of it. You see this insignia that you know well to be the insignia of the Grēnweard family.
Yeah. I want to get us back as far away from this thing as possible.
You back up next. If you're not trying to go round it, you're trying to back up away from it, still facing it.
Yeah, because I don't want to go behind it, because I'm only... if it can ever start moving again, I'm then going to be stood with everyone, which, again,
Okay.
that's not a...
So you kind of back up almost into the doorway of the previous chamber.
There is so little I am physically capable of doing in this scenario, because it can't take piercing damage. So I am genuinely racking my brains to think of anything that Eden might have said or done. Why the hell he's put a golem here?
Okay, roll me a history check. And you can roll with advantage on this because you are very familiar with the history of this family.
16.
16. Eden has been trained all his life to be head of the family, and nothing is more important to him than the family, and everything he does is to keep that family safe.
I genuinely at a loss for what I can do.
Okay.
Yeah, this first time ever, I think there's nothing I feel like I can do.
Okay. All right. We'll just move on. I's turn.
Very narratively satisfying.
You concentrate on your spells.
You concentrate on your bells.
I would like to run up behind the golem.
Poking the bum.
Would like to lasso up
Over the head.
to attempt to try and climb up the back of it.
Great, love that. Roll me an attack using your dexterity modifier. So essentially, roll me a ranged attack. Roll me what you would roll for a crossbow.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because I think that's hella cool.
Yeah.
And if you beat it's
16.
you get it up. You get it. You throw it up. You get it round the creature's neck, and as you pull it, the knot hasn't quite been pulled tightly enough. It almost takes it. Only just as you start to put your first foot on its back, that knot comes loose and the rope falls down in your hands.
Okay. In that case, then, I would like to use the rest of my movement again, because I've doubled it to move back. I'm going to try and do that knot again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And you'll be ready on your next turn. I'll let you kind of have. I'll even let you have advantage on the roll next time because you now know the kind of tension that you need on that.
I just go.
I knew that shots of.
There's a very, very complicated scout. Great. That is Dolly's turn.
Did I hear the exchange about the symbol on the chest?
Yes, you all did.
Is Indelion near me?
Yes. No, Indelion is the only one who is not near you. So essentially the four... Radian hasn't moved either yet.
No, I'm just sounding like a badass.
So if you imagine a clock face with the golem at the center, Indelion is at 6 o'clock, almost in the opening of the door. At 5 o'clock, but a little closer to the golem, is Radian, and then directly behind the center of the clock face, directly behind the golem, is I, and then further back by 10 feet at 12 are you and Kelis and Hank.
Can I shout for Indelion to hear me?
Yes.
Indelion, this thing is here to protect the family. It's a shame the family isn't here right now to tell it to stop.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That. What else would you like to do?
That's it.
That's it. Kelis, it's your turn.
Okay.
Poke in the bum.
Is giving? I don't think it is. But I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Is commanding Hank isn't a bonus action? It's just part of him existing, isn't it?
So I believe he takes his action after you.
After me,
But he will.
It's not a bonus action.
Well, let me have a little look, because I think in combat the spirit shares your initiative count but takes its action immediately after yours. The only action it takes on its turn is the dodge action, which would mean that all attacks on it have disadvantage, unless you take a bonus action on your turn to command it to take another action.
Okay. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to run up with Hank.
Yes.
And I'm going to grab I, and I'm going to teleport 15 feet behind me again.
Yep. Great. So it now needs to roll
saving throw.
Saving throw with advantage. Oh, man, it's rolled a second nat 20. It rolled on these saving throws, it's rolled 19, 20, 20 18.
Hope so. It's a badass golem.
It's a badass golem. The dice have their own story to tell, kids. We're just playing with them. So I'm afraid it doesn't take any
no damage.
Does no damage. But you're
15
you're
feet
now
away.
you're now further back. So Dolly is like 5 feet behind, or 10. Dolly's 10 feet behind, and you guys are 20 feet behind now.
I is so focused on the tying of this thing that basically is tying and then looks up at the golem and is suddenly like, just kind of like
looks down the ground to see if he's on a treadmill. Like,
How is I? How am I? How is I?
just that's it. Yeah.
Okay, that is the stone golem's turn. It is going to roll its wisdom saving throw against Dolly's spell. At the start of its turn, it's going to do so with advantage. It rolled a nat 1 and a 5. Nothing. It does not pass. It's still able to do absolutely nothing on its turn. I hate this spell. It's excellent. That is Radian Thornbear's turn.
Indelion,
Time to come clean.
please just do something.
Why don't you do something?
I already have. It was very cool until it wasn't.
We'll try something cooler.
I'm not going to try anything until you do something.
Well, then you're going to wait.
Tell me what that is.
It's a golem.
No, what's on its chest?
The symbol of mouse of the Grēnweard family. You did study history, right?
I did.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of things over the past couple of days that point me to think that that has something to do with you. And if that is trying to kill me and all of our friends, then you can do something about it.
I don't know.
And I don't care about your secrets. I don't care about your pride. I care about the people who are here. These people who have saved your life consistently, who have tried to protect you. So do something for once. Put your pride aside and do something for us.
That is the end of your turn. That is back to the top of the initiative. That is Indelion's turn.
I'm going to do nothing.
Okay. Indelion stands there. Stands in the doorway. That is Ai's turn.
Okay. I's going to run forward, do the lasso, and then as he does it, turns, looks around the side of the golem and just goes,
Even I's figured it out.
roll a ranged attack with advantage. So you can roll twice, take the highest.
He can't read, but he can read a room.
Nice.
And that is an 18.
An 18 absolutely hooks on to the golem's neck.
Okay, and I want to climb.
And it's powerless to stop you doing
Yep.
that. You climb up its back. You are on its shoulders.
Yep, and I want to see if there's anything about the head, anything that there's any kind of like
Like a light switch.
weakness, anything, any off switch, anything that might be a indicator of any kind of way of overriding.
Okay, so we've sort of done movement, we've done the attack, and I gave you advantage. So roll me an investigation check with disadvantage because you're sort of trying to do something with very little reserves.
That is that's a 4.
That's a 4. Okay.
You got a great clip in.
There's a brief moment where you think, did you design this? Like, of course you didn't. Dolly, that's your turn.
I mean, I'm just gonna look at Indelion doing nothing and be like, really? Really? Is this what's happening? I'm gonna cast Shatter on the thing.
Yep.
Which is a con save.
Okay, it has a +5 to Constitution. It has rolled a 9 and a 4, which becomes a 14 and a 9.
Fails.
It fails. Okay.
Con is it was a 15 save.
Okay.
So that is 3d8 thunder damage.
3d8 thunder damage.
Oh wait.
But it takes.
It did have disadvantage on its saving throw as well because it's inorganic.
Oh, okay. It has. I thought it took double damage because it was inorganic, but it
No,
takes.
it's-
Right. Okay.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
whatever.
So the lower of those, it would have been one of those die anyway.
It's fine.
Would you like me to re-roll?
No. No. That is 8 plus 5 is 13. Sorry.
13 damage.
Maths.
Okay. You see sort of the barest hairline, tiny hairline cracks appear in it, but it is still very much here and moving.
Indelion.
Go, girl, give us nothing.
Kelis.
I am going to. I'm going to shout at Indelion.
Trying to kill you.
And I'm going to say, Elowen! It is time.
I hate this shit.
And then I am going to, that's kind of my action.
Okay.
And then I'm going to command Hank to spit a fire seed at the golem.
Great. It makes a spell attack modifier to hit. So roll whatever your spell attack modifier is. Roll a d20 plus your spell attack modifier. So d20 plus 5.
Spell attack modifier.
Oh, actually, it's
I've
probably
forgotten.
+8, isn't it? It's your because its proficiency equals your bonus.
+8,
I'm
yes,
going to say
yeah.
it would be a +8, whether or not that's
So
quite correct.
+8 +5?
No, just +8.
Yeah, you
It's
did.
not be
Yeah,
a
you did.
+13.
That one.
It's a nat 1. Okay.
I've rolled like 6 of those this session. It's terrible.
Hank is briefly confused by the amount of stone in the room and fires a beautiful flame seed at a block that is just a block.
He's still shivering.
Well,
of him.
also he's been poisoned and he keeps he's teleporting a lot. He's getting as disorientated as I am. That is the stone golem's turn.
Go on.
It's going to roll. Rolls with advantage. He rolls 2 5s. This thing is just not.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything.
That pressure for me to talk is just not there.
Radian, this is your turn.
If I was to cast Hypnotic Gaze
Fucking kill you.
on Indelion, I would charm her, correct? And
PvP.
I wouldn't sleep.
this is
after that if I
this
was
is
you.
me just doing something, which is like essentially what Hypnotic Gaze. Choose one creature that you can see within 5 feet that must succeed in a Wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you until the end of your next turn. And charming, would I be able to? Is not suggestion, isn't it? Wouldn't have the power of
So
suggestion.
the
or wouldn't have
charmed
control.
condition, the charmed condition can't. The charmed creature can't attack the charmer or target the charmer with harmful abilities or magical effects.
But I can't make it
and the
do
charmer has advantage on any ability check to interact socially with the creature.
Essentially, what I want to do is I want to charm her and convince her to do what I want her to do.
There is nothing mechanically that says that can't happen.
But morally,
Because he's known for those.
So this is what I'm
So this is what I'm going to do.
Indelion, you're going to do this one way or the other. Whether you do it by choice or you do it by force. But I'm giving you the choice right now to do the right thing for us. Because I am doing the right thing for us. You stand there and do nothing and these people could die. I put my arm in a hole of fire for you. I nearly died for you and you stand there and you do nothing? Because of your pride, because you're scared of something? Stop being such a coward. If you don't speak, I will make you speak.
If you make me speak, it will be the last thing you ever do.
Roll a wisdom. Are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw, Indelion.
It's the last thing he ever does. It's 60.
It's a 16. What is your spell save DC?
15.
15. Pass it. Nothing happens.
But I know he's tried.
You know he's tried. You know it didn't work. That is Indelion's turn.
How close is Radian to me?
5 feet.
I was right next to you.
Then I take my dagger
Okay.
and I will literally place it to Radian's neck.
You take out your dagger.
Yes.
Okay. You place it to Radian's neck.
And I say, you talk of trust and you were willing to force me to do something.
You were willing to let us die.
I would never have let you die, but you never let me make the decision. And then with that, I'll take the dagger, turn to face the golem and said, if you're here to protect the family Grēnweard, I am the family Grēnweard. And I command it to stop.
And the creature kneels. And as it kneels, it starts with these hairline cracks. I still I drops down like he's on a lift. And these cracks start to emerge wider and wider, and it raises its head to you, Indelion. And there's a second where it's almost like it smiles, and then it crumbles into dust. And left in the center of it are a set of dragon chess pieces. And at the back of the space, a stone door is revealed, sliding down into the bedrock.
what the hell took you so long?
I reaches down and picks up the pieces from the dust. Just goes,
I think these might mean something to you.
Nothing to me. I was never very good at dragon chess. And I want to, if I can. It's take the dagger, the blunt end of the dagger,
Yeah.
straight into the side of Radian's head.
Okay, roll me an attack.
Lucky for Radian, that is only a 7.
Your hands are shaking. And as you go to slam it into the side of Radian's head, you just kind of catch his hood and pull his hood almost off the back of his head.
And mess up his nicely done hair.
Nicely done. But yeah, I'll just look Radian dead in the eyes and just never speak of trust again. I will never trust you. I will never help you. I will never save you. It was never yours to take.
Our lives weren't yours to take either. You're gonna let that happen?
And so far, none of you had been in danger. That thing wasn't moving.
Yeah, thanks to me.
Yeah. Thanks
Not
to
thanks
you.
to you.
No,
When we gets in there, you gets no credit.
that's fine.
We tells them, you almost stopped us.
and then I goes off with the chess pieces to the back of the wall.
And as that door has slid down, there is light beyond. There's a long corridor with torches flickering in sconces. there's this corridor with brick arches along its length. There is dusty bottles of wine. And at the far end is a wooden door.
I'd like to look at the bottles of wine.
You like to look at the bottles of wine?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll me an investigation check on the bottles of wine.
Couple of pet nuts in there.
No, it's not good. It's like a 5, I think. No, it's even worse. It's a 4.
Okay. They're bottles of wine.
It's wine.
It's wine. It's wine. Kind of old wine, dusty wine.
I looks at Kelis, Radian, and Dolly and says, "As we?"
Well, we made it this far, and I don't think there's any going back at this point. Why don't we let Grēnweard go first?
I can go by myself if that's what you want. But yeah, I'm going to just head through the wine cellar and into the kitchen.
Okay, and as you put your hand on the door, there's like, you hear the rattle and you hear and you hear, what is it, Dutty? And you recognize the voice. And you hear whispers behind the door, and you hear that first voice say, "Stay back, close to the wall." And the door is suddenly jerked open into the kitchen. And there is a woman stood there with plaited white hair, a narrow face, and she's got a simple dark skirt, a green shirt, a little brooch with the insignia of the Grēnweard family. And there is a dog snarling at the end of a leather leash, which she has wrapped around her wrist, and she has a Grēnweard family dagger in her other hand. She looks at you, and she says, "Ellie." And she drops the leash, and the dog goes from snarling to leaping up and putting its paws on you, and it starts to lick your face. And that's where we'll end our session. Well, some things happened there. If you want to hear us digest some of these things and have a little chat about them, then you're going to have to wait till next week for the action surge, unless you are a member of our marvelous Patreon. In which case, you can head over to our Patreon feed now, right now, this second, and you can hear us dissect and discuss what's just happened. That will be happening now, and until then, we will see you very soon for more adventures in the world of Reliquia. Bye,